Hello, welcome to my channel, The Cozy Wildflower. Thank you for clicking on today's video. Today I'm going to be figuring out a rough budget for my bills and fixed expenses for each week. It's not going to be exact, obviously each week it may change, but this is just to give me an idea how much I need to budget each week ahead of time. So if you want to watch how I do this process, please keep watching. All right, so to get started, I have already printed out this sheet. I made this sheet so it works a little bit better for me. So I created, again, this sheet. I made a due date, the bill, and then the amount due. And the plan is to write each week that I get paid and then divide this by how many weeks I have until the next time it's due, essentially, if that makes sense. It might be a little confusing, but hopefully you guys understand my process as we go along through it. After that, I will be doing a paycheck weekly budget before we actually get it, and then once I get that, I'll do the actual on my own. But I just wanted to show you guys how I do this. Maybe it'll help someone out there to do something similar. I've just noticed it helps me a lot with my bills and my budgeting. That way I know roughly how many hours I have to put in at work, or roughly how much I need by the end of that week to stay on track for the bill. All right, now that I have zoomed you guys in, I'm going to show you what I mean about the process. So on the top, I'm going to write every single paycheck day. It's every Friday, so we're going to do October 3rd, October 10th, so I messed up right there, but it should be November 7th, the 14th, and then the 21st, not the 21. All right, so I kind of did the first one. For the paycheck on the 26th, we are going to have to collect or keep apart $500 for rent. As I haven't been budgeting much, well, at all. So I will have to keep $500 for rent, and then the following weeks we will be budgeting for the next time it's due. So how I did that is 500, and then I divided it by 4, since each month obviously has 4 weeks. If it has more, it's fine. I will keep it at 4, that way I can have an extra payment in the future, so we can get a month ahead, a little bit at a time. I know it's going to take some time to do that, but at least I'll get a little bit of a head start. So you divide your rent by 4, get $125 for each paycheck. That way I can, by the end, have $500 each month. So again, this October is going to be a magic month, so we're going to have 5. So we should have $625 by the end of it. For October 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, by the 24th of October, we should have the $500 ready for rent, and then we'll be a little bit ahead by the 31st. And again, we're going to keep doing the big bills for now. We're not going to do the smallest ones yet. Let's go to the next big one. So this one is due, it's my car note, so it's due on the 15th. So I would go, okay, it's due on the 15th. When is the last time I can budget for this month? So we have October 17th. Obviously, it's going to be late then, so I have until the 10th. So I would divide for this month that's coming up. I would divide 500 by, we got 3 weeks. So I would do, it's 166 each week. But I am going to change it up a little bit. Let's see. If we do 170 plus 170, it's 340. 160. Perfect. Okay, that works out. So we could do 170 and 170 for the first 2 weeks, and then I'll just have 160 left for the 10th. And then after that would be a new month. It would be due until November 15th. So we'll divide it the same way. So 500 divided by 4, it's 125. So after that, we'll keep saving 125. Each week, so that way we can do the same thing and have the 500 by the next time it's due. All right, so let's do the next biggest one, which would be my car insurance. This one's going to be a little different this month for September. It is due on the 25th, but I have already paid this since it is my renewal. I already paid it in advance, but I do owe some money to my brother. I owe him 150. So we're gonna pretend it's my car insurance payment, but only do 150. That way it's still in my budget and I don't have to worry about it later. But so for September, we're gonna do 150. I know it's past the due date, but again, this is for some money that I owe. But let's do it for the rest. So it is 195 divided by 4 would be 48. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to round up, and that way we still have a little bit of a buffer each week. So we are going to do 50 each week. So by the time it's due, we'll have each one ready. So we did car insurance, we did car note and rent. The next one would be Rob car insurance, which is my boyfriend's. So till it's due, we got until the 9th, so we can't do the 10th. So we would divide this by 2. Let's see. So 130 divided by 2 is 65. So we would do 65 for these 2 weeks. And assuming, obviously, divided by 2, so 130 divided by 4. Oh, divided by 4 is 32 with 50 cents. Now, I don't want to do that. I kind of want to do it in more even numbers. That is why I also rounded my car insurance, because I don't want to really stuff ones. So I'm going to be rounding to the $5 mark, or that's pretty much it, because I'm not going to be rounding down, obviously, because I do need the money for the bills. So what I'm going to do is I am going to budget 31 week, 35 another, 31 week, 35 another. Let's see, 30 plus 35 plus 30 plus 35 should be okay. Perfect. So it's not the exact same each week, but it will eventually get me to that same amount. So my next biggest amount is my personal phone bill, and it is due on the 7th. So we got until the 3rd again. So it is $100. We're going to do 50 and 50. And then for the rest of them, obviously 100 divided by 4 is $25. So we'll just do that each week. What you can also do is, instead of doing 25 each week, if you don't want to be stuffing it every month, you can obviously do 50 a week or 50 every 2 weeks, just as long as you have it by the due date. So October, we're going to be paying it on with October 3rd's paycheck. So for November, you have until the 7th, but usually I like getting it the week before if you can. Or if it's like November 6th, then that would be perfect. I just don't like having it exactly on that day because sometimes it pulls from your bank account really early in the morning. But it's completely up to you how you divvy it up. After that, we do got storage. It is due on the 28th, so for September's payment, we are going to have it in full. But after that, let's see, 90 divided by 4 is 225. I don't know if you can see that. 225, 22 with 50 cents. So we're going to do the same thing we did for Rob's car insurance. We're going to do 20, 25, 20, 25 each week. And let's see. So we'll start with 20. That way it's not the same as the car insurance. So we'll do 20, 25, and so on. Next one is Walmart. That's my credit card. For that one, it's due on the 3rd. Like I said, I like having it the week before because this is the exact date. So by the 26th, we are going to need 75. But the following weeks, let's see, 75 divided by 4 is 1875. Since it is a debt payment, credit card payment, I'm going to round up. That way we do 80. Each week, and it would be completely fine. Because then that'll help me a little bit. I'm doing the snowball method. So the credit one would be the one I'm focusing on first since it is a lower payment or a lower balance. And then again, I'll do the rest to Walmart once we pay that. So the one after that looks like it's going to be Rob's phone, and it's not due until the 5th, so we can do it on the 3rd. This one's already going to be pretty high, so that way we can alleviate this a little bit. Let's see. So we'll do 60 on the 3rd. And this one, I don't want to be doing 15 each week, so I'm going to do what I mentioned earlier and do if we do it on this day, we'll do every other week 30. So that way by the 5th, we'll have it on the 31st, perfect. And then so on and so forth. Let's do this last one before we do the smallest amounts. Wait, sorry about that. My screen might have moved a little bit. I ran out of storage, so I had to delete some things. But back to where we were, I think we were on credit one. That is a debt payment as well. It's one of the credit cards that I have left to pay. For this one, I am trying to pay it off as soon as I can. So what I am going to do is budget $50 each week. That way we can get that rolling and get it paid off as soon as possible. All right, so that is done. So we'll do 50 each week. Now all we have left are the smaller bills. So the $30 for YouTube, AppleCare 14, and storage for 13. I'm not going to divide this weekly. Obviously, it's too little and doesn't make sense to do that. So what I am going to do, let's start with YouTube. I'm just going to look to see when it's due and then do it the week before, budget for it. So it is due on the 1st, so obviously I'm going to do it on this paycheck. And then after that, it's due on the 1st, so we can do the 31st or the week before on the 24th, which I think I'm going to do on the 24th. And then we will budget for it again on the 21st. So next, we'll do AppleCare. For AppleCare, it's due on the 14th. Sorry, on the 19th. So that means that we already paid it for September. The next time we can do it is on October 17th. So we'll do it then. And you know what? Since it is 14 and I said I was going to round up, so we will be budgeting $15. And then we could do it again on the 14th for $15. iCloud storage, again, it's 13, but we're going to do round it up to 15. And since they are so close in date, we're just going to do it the same days. All right, and that should be all for the bills part. For these bottom three, it is my weekly expenses. So gas, groceries, and spending. I believe I called it my fixed expenses, but it is the variable. So for each week, we're obviously going to do 100 for gas, and that is for both of us, me and my boyfriend. Groceries, 150. Oh. And spending, 150. This is going to be divided again between the both of us. All right. So the last part is to get the totals of roughly how much each week we're going to need. So expense total is the weeklies. Obviously, that's always going to be 400. So we wouldn't be adding this to the total. I'm going to go ahead and go off camera and fill out the totals for, so it's the bills total. So I would just be doing the rest of them. And then we will go again down to the very bottom line, and it'll be the total between both of them. All right, so I went ahead and added up the totals for each week for the bills and put it on the top row. They should roughly be about the same. This one is a little bit higher because we are doing an extra 30 that week, but they all should be roughly around the same amount. The last step I usually do is just go in and add these two. So 1580 plus 400. So this week we would need roughly around 1980 minimum from our paycheck. My paycheck usually comes from my work, but I am slowing down at work a little bit because I am pregnant, but the rest would be covered by my boyfriend's paycheck. When I do stop working, this would all be covered by his. So this is why I'm doing it, just to get a rough estimate of how much we are going to need each week from him until I get back into working again. So again, I will write in my totals for each week. All right, perfect. So we got our rough estimate for our weekly budget. Next, what you would do is just go in to your weekly budget, and you can use this to fill that out. I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, and then I'll be back to show you guys what I mean. All right, so I went ahead and filled that out. Again, it's pretty easy. So you would just take this week and plug it in over here. So for rent, we need 500, YouTube 30, Walmart 75, nothing for Rob phone, so we are going to leave that off of here, and so on and so forth. And then the expenses, which is the weekly ones, we are going to plug in here, put the totals. Once I do get my pay and his pay, I will go ahead and fill out the actual, and then as well as make the payments. But that is pretty much it. That is all I do for budgeting. Rough estimate of how much I am going to need each week. If you have any questions, comments, or any suggestions on how to make this a little bit better, please let me know in the comments below. Again, thank you for watching today's video. If you want to stick around and watch me budget, redo my budget, redo cash stuffing and everything, I would be happy to have you. Hit the subscribe button and the like, and again, leave any comment. Thank you for watching the whole video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.